Hey viewers, welcome to African Tales by Afi. Please kindly click the subscribe button to get notified for more amazing stories. The sun had just disappeared behind the tall mango trees in the village of Aware, and the sky was painted in soft orange and purple. Obinna, the quiet man who lived in the biggest house at the edge of the village, was walking back from his evening stroll. Birds chirped their last songs, and the smell of roasted corn filled the air. Obinna wasn't like other rich men. He didn't throw parties or walk with a crowd. He lived alone in his grand compound, with tall gates, flowering trees, and a big black dog named Zazu. People often whispered stories about him, that he once left the city behind because of a broken heart. Children were told, "Don't go near that house. Obinna talks to no one." But Obinna wasn't scary. He was just quiet. His heart, though full of gold, was covered in sadness. That evening, just as he reached his gate, Zazu began barking furiously. "Zazu!" Obinna called, concerned. "What is it, boy?" He looked around, and there by the gate, curled up under a tree, was a girl. She looked barely 17. Her hair was messy, her clothes were dusty, and her arms were wrapped around her stomach as if to keep warm. "Who are you?" Obinna asked gently. The girl opened her eyes slowly and sat up. "My name is F," she said with a weak voice. I didn't mean to sleep here. I was just so tired." Obinna frowned. "Where are your parents?" Af looked down. "They died 2 years ago. I came to this village hoping I'd find work, but everywhere I go, they say I'm too young, too dirty, or just too poor." Obinna's heart tightened. "Have you eaten today?" She shook her head. Without another word, Obinna reached into his pocket and opened the gate. "Come. Let's get you something warm to eat." Af hesitated. "But I don't want trouble, sir. I can go. I'll find another place." Obinna smiled for the first time in weeks. "Child, you've found the right place. Let's go." Inside the mansion, Af's eyes widened. Everything sparkled, the floors, the curtains, the gold-framed pictures. But what caught her attention most was the kitchen. It was bigger than her entire house growing up. Obinna placed a warm plate of yam porridge in front of her. "Eat slowly." As she ate, he watched. She closed her eyes after every bite like it was the best thing she had ever tasted. He couldn't help but smile again. After dinner, he gave her a clean room with soft blankets. Af looked at the bed like it was a cloud. "Thank you," she whispered. Obinna paused at the door. "You can stay here, for a while. We'll figure things out in the morning." Af's voice trembled. "No one has ever been this kind to me." Obinna looked at her kindly. Maybe it's time that changed. That night, F cried softly into the pillow, not from sadness, but because, for the first time in years, she felt safe. The next morning, Mama Obi, Obinna's mother, came to visit. "Obinna," she shouted, stepping into the sitting room. "I heard from Chica that someone saw a strange girl enter your house last night. Is that true?" Obinna sighed. "Good morning to you too, Mama." "Don't dodge the question," she said, sitting down and fanning herself dramatically. "You know how people talk in this village." Obinna called F from the guest room. She walked in quietly, head bowed. Mama Obi squinted at her. Who is she?" Obinna explained everything. When he finished, Mama Obi huffed. "Obinna, you have a big heart. But hearts can be broken. You barely speak to people, and now you're bringing a stranger into your home?" "She needed help," Obinna said firmly. I couldn't turn her away. Mama Obi eyed F up and down. What's your name, girl? F, Ma, she said, voice trembling. Mama stood and walked slowly around her. What do you know how to do? I can bake, F said quietly. My mother taught me. Bread, cakes, buns, puff puff. Obina's eyes lit up. You bake? F nodded. Mama Obi raised an eyebrow. Well, we shall see. This house has not smelled of fresh bread in years. If you're going to stay, you must work. F smiled. I would love to. Obina watched silently, something warm growing in his chest. As Mama Obi left, she muttered, let's hope she brings more than just flour into this house. And so, the quiet house that once echoed with silence began to whisper with new life. But not everyone was happy about it. In the shadows, someone else had heard the rumors, someone from Obina's past. Her name was Amara. The village of Aware was buzzing. For the first time in years, Obina's mansion had laughter floating out through the windows. The market women gossiped, the Okada riders whispered, and the children dared one another to peek through the gate. Have you heard? One trader said, plucking groundnuts. Obina has taken in a girl. A small, dusty girl. Another replied, eyes wide. And she's staying in the house, sleeping on the soft beds. Eating rice and chicken. Meanwhile, inside the mansion, F was stirring a large bowl of flour. The smell of warm buns filled the air. Obina walked into the kitchen, drawn by the sweet scent. What is this magic you're making? F giggled. Banana bread. It was my mother's favorite. Want to try? He leaned forward and smiled. If it tastes half as good as it smells, I might never leave this kitchen. They both laughed. The sound was soft and new, like a seedling breaking through hard ground. Just then, the gate buzzed. Zazu barked. Chika, Obina's younger cousin, rushed in, waving a phone. Uncle Obi! You won't believe it. What is it? Obina asked, frowning. It's Amara. She's back. And she's angry. Obina froze. Af looked up. Who is Amara? Chika scratched his head. She was supposed to marry Uncle Obi. But she left him at the last minute. Said he was boring. She married a rich businessman in the city. But now she's divorced, and she's back. Obina sighed and sat down. Why now? Chika looked between Obina and F. Because people are talking. And Amara, she never liked competition. F felt her stomach twist. I didn't come here to cause trouble. Obina turned to her gently. You didn't cause anything. You were just sleeping under a tree, remember? She smiled, but her heart fluttered. Somewhere in the shadows of Obina's past, a storm was waking up. Meanwhile, across the village, Amara stood in front of a mirror, applying lipstick with the precision of a warrior painting her face. She's living in his house? She snapped. Yes, Ma, said her friend, Ngozi. And they say she bakes. Amara scoffed. She's a poor girl with flour on her nose. I gave Obina up, and he's feeding strays? Ngozi said carefully, maybe she makes him happy. They say she's polite. And kind. Amara's eyes narrowed. I made Obina. When I left, he turned into a ghost. Now, some village girl walks in and brings him back to life? She stood up, tall and proud. He's mine. And I'm going to remind him. The next day, Obina was hosting Mama Obi and a few elders from the village for a small gathering. F baked meat pies, coconut rolls, and even chin-chin. As the guests arrived, they murmured in surprise. Obina, are you feeding us with a full bakery? One laughed. Obina smiled. Thank F. She did everything. F came out in a clean gown and curtsied. Good afternoon, sirs and Moss. Mama Obi nodded with approval. This one has brought joy into this house. But the smiles froze when the gate opened and Amara walked in. She wore a bright yellow dress, gold earrings, and heels that clicked like tiny drums on the tiles. Well, she said sweetly. It smells like a market stall in here. F lowered her eyes. The air felt thick. Obina stood slowly. Amara. She walked up to him, bold as ever. Is this what you've become? A baker's assistant? The elders looked away uncomfortably. Mama Obi frowned. Amara, this is not your home. Amara turned to her, smiling. Ah, Mama Obi. Still as sharp as ever. Then she faced F. So, you must be the little girl causing all the noise. F opened her mouth but said nothing. Obina stepped forward. That's enough, Amara. Amara raised an eyebrow. Is she even educated? Can she walk beside you in town? Or will you keep her hidden like a pet? Obina's voice was firm. F is not a pet. She is kind. She is hardworking. And most importantly, she brought warmth back into this house. Something you never cared to do. The room was silent. Amara scoffed. You'll regret this. She turned sharply and stormed out, heels echoing like thunder. Later that night, F sat alone on the balcony, staring at the stars. Obina joined her. Are you all right? I didn't expect to be insulted in front of so many people, she said softly. Obina sighed. I'm sorry. She has always been sharp-tongued. I don't want to bring shame to you, F whispered. Maybe I should leave. Obina looked at her for a long moment. F, when I found you by my gate, I didn't know you would change my world. You brought light. If people can't see that, then they're not worth listening to. F smiled, a tear slipping down her cheek. You really think I brought light? I'm certain. And for the first time, Obina took her hand. But as their bond grew stronger, so did the jealousy in Amara's heart. And she wasn't done yet. Not even close. The days rolled on like the gentle wind, but under the calm, something dark was brewing. F was up early, as always. She tied her scarf tightly, rolled up her sleeves, and went to work in the kitchen. Baking was her joy. Her dough rose like her dreams, warm and hopeful. Obina had even asked her to help design a small bakery space beside the house. One morning, as she carefully lined meat pies on a tray, Chica burst into the kitchen, panting and sweating. F. Uncle Obina! Come outside quickly! Obina dropped his phone and ran out barefoot, F following close behind. Smoke. Screaming. Heat. Their small outdoor bakery shed was on fire. The wooden frame crackled as flames danced wildly. The neighbors gathered, pouring water from buckets, but the fire fought back. Obina grabbed a hose, shouting orders. F stood frozen, her chest tight. And my recipes, my ingredients, she stammered. The fire will take everything if we don't stop it. Obina shouted, pulling her back from the edge. With help from neighbors, the fire was eventually tamed. But the damage was done. The bakery space, her dream, was gone. F collapsed to her knees in the ash, black soot on her cheeks. My mother's mixing spoon was in there, she said in a small voice. It was all I had left of her. Obina knelt beside her and held her close. We'll rebuild it, F. Better than before. I promise. That night, as the sky darkened, Obina sat with Chica and his assistant. No. This fire wasn't natural, Chica whispered. I found the lock forced open. Someone poured kerosene. Obina's jaw tightened. Do you know who did it? Chica nodded slowly. I saw Amara's car down the street. She didn't come near, but she was watching. Obina closed his eyes and exhaled. So it has come to this. No frowned. She's dangerous, sir. If she can do this, she can do worse. Obina looked toward F's room. Then I must protect what matters most. Meanwhile, Amara was sipping wine in her mother's sitting room. Her mother, Lady Adiz, frowned at her. You burnt the girl's bakery? Amara shrugged. It was an accident. Lady Adiz slapped the table. You forget who we are. The Okonkwo name is respected. And you're out here throwing matches like a child? Amara scoffed. Mama, Obinna was mine. That girl doesn't belong in our circle. Lady Adiz's eyes flashed. Obinna has money, yes. But he also has pride. If you want him back, this is not the way. Amara leaned back. Then how do I get rid of her? Lady Adiz smirked. You use their own words against them. The village listens when elders speak. A few days later, Obinna was summoned by the Council of Elders. The meeting was held under the large Irako tree in the center of the village, where judgment had been passed for generations. F sat beside him, head bowed. Mama Obi and Baba Chinidu sat at the front. Beside them, Lady Adiz stood tall, smiling sweetly. Obinna, Mama Obi began, we have heard whispers. Baba Chinidu nodded. That you have taken in a girl with no family, no wealth, and no proper standing. Obinna spoke firmly. F is honest, respectful, and kind. She has done more for me than anyone else ever has. Lady Adiz stepped forward. But can she stand with you before kings? Can she represent our village at high tables? Obinna, we raised you to lead, not to settle. F's heart sank. She felt like a small stone among boulders. But Obinna stood up. With respect, I am not settling. I am rising because of her. He turned to the elders. When my life was cold and empty, F brought joy. When she was hungry, she still shared her bread with Zazu. When people whispered, she smiled. I don't need a woman who shines in the city, I need one who brings light into my home. F's eyes widened with tears. The crowd murmured. Some nodded. Lady Adiz frowned. But Mama Obi leaned forward. F, child, come here. F walked slowly to the front, her hands trembling. Do you love this man? Yes, Ma, she said softly. I didn't plan to. I was just cold and tired. But now, I love him like rain loves dry earth. The crowd gasped at her words. Even Baba Chinidu smiled. And do you wish to be his wife? F looked at Obinna, then nodded. With all my heart. Obinna stepped forward. Then let me say it now, I will marry her. With or without your blessing, but I hope with it. There was silence. Then Mama Obi clapped once. Let it be so. A cheer rose from the crowd. Lady Adiz turned and stormed off, her plans unraveling. That night, back in the mansion, F stood beside Obinna. Did you mean it? She asked. Obinna smiled. Every word. He took her hands gently. But only if you want this too. I do, she whispered, cheeks glowing. I never thought my life would be more than flour and fire. Obinna laughed. Sometime. Flour and fire make the best bread. But though love was rising like dough, one final test still waited. And it would come from the past, in a way no one expected. The sun rose gently over the village, bathing the trees in golden light. Birds sang like they were rehearsing for something grand, and they were. It was Obinna and F's wedding day. The entire village buzzed with excitement. Women carried baskets of fresh palm wine, men arranged chairs under the great baobab tree, and children practiced their dance steps. Inside the mansion, F stood before a long mirror, dressed in a beautiful coral-colored wrapper with golden beads that shimmered with each movement. No clapped her hands. F. You look like a princess from a storybook. F blushed. I still can't believe this is real. I used to sleep on cold stones and now. I'm marrying Obinna. No smiled warmly. You deserve this joy. Your heart is pure. But outside, while joy filled the air, a storm was quietly forming, a storm named Amara. Obinna adjusted his agbada as Chika helped him fix his cap. You sure you're ready for this? Chika teased. Marriage is not like baking bread. Oh. Obina laughed. If F is the flour, I'll be the yeast. Together, we'll rise. Chica laughed hard, then turned serious. But just so you know, Amara hasn't given up. She was seen talking to a man from F's past. A man named Felix. Obina's face grew serious. Who is Felix? Chico lowered his voice. The man who once promised F marriage, then left her stranded in the city. I think Amara paid him to ruin this day. Obina clenched his fists. Not today. Not ever. Just as the drums started and guests gathered under the baobab, a rickety old motorcycle zoomed into the compound. The man who stepped off was tall, with a crooked smile and eyes that shifted too quickly. F gasped. Felix? Felix swaggered toward her, hands in his pockets. So it's true. You're marrying a rich man now? Obina stepped forward. Who is this man? F swallowed hard. He used to be my fiancé. He abandoned me in the city. Felix laughed. Ah, F. You forgot our deal so quickly? I told you I'd come back. You never did. F's voice cracked. You left me hungry and hopeless. Felix shrugged. But I'm back now. I've come to collect what's mine. Obina stepped between them. She is not yours. And she never was. But Felix sneered. I have proof we were once engaged. He pulled out a crumpled paper with 2 names scrawled in ink. Lady Adise suddenly appeared beside him, her voice sharp. If this is true, then your marriage cannot happen. It would be a disgrace. The elders began murmuring. Mama Obi raised a hand. Quiet! She turned to F. Child, is this true? F nodded slowly. Yes, we were engaged. But he left. No letters, no calls. I thought he was dead. Felix grinned. So she admits it. But F's voice rang clear now, he left me for another woman. I found out later. He never planned to return. The elders murmured again. Obina's voice rose. This man does not love her. He is here for money and revenge. But we see the truth. Mama Obi looked at Baba Chinidu. Then she stood. Let me ask the most important question. F, do you want to marry this man? F turned to Felix. No. Then let it be known, Mama Obi declared, that no woman shall be tied to a man she does not love. This wedding will go on. The crowd erupted in cheers. Felix shouted, You'll regret this. But Chica and 2 guards walked him out before he could say another word. Lady Adise, defeated and furious, walked away without another word. The ceremony continued under the glowing sky. Obina held F's hands and looked into her eyes. When I first found you by my gate, I didn't know who you were, he said. But now I know, you're the one I've been waiting for all my life. F smiled through tears. When I first saw you, I thought you were cold and distant. But now I see, your heart is the warmest home I've ever known. The crowd clapped. Music played. The 2 were pronounced husband and wife. As they danced, the whole village joined them, singing, clapping, laughing. Even Mama Obi danced with her walking stick in the air. Later that night, as fireworks lit up the sky, Obina and F sat side by side under the stars. Do you still miss the old bakery? Obina asked. F nodded. Sometimes. But now, I want to open a bigger one where children can come and learn, and people can find comfort in bread the way I did. Obina smiled. Then let's build it together. And they did. Months later, the bakery opened F's Oven of Hope. It served bread, pies, and dreams. Obina helped build a school next door. F taught kids how to bake and believe. Soon, a little baby boy with big eyes and a quiet smile joined their home. They named him Chimdi, meaning God holds me. And every evening, the family would sit under the mango tree, telling stories of flower and fire, of rain and love, and how sometimes, the best things in life begin when someone opens a door. Hello tribe, hope we enjoyed today's story. Please kindly put what you've learned in the comments section. Please remember to hit the like button, share this to your friends and family as well as subscribe to see you on the next one. Bye.